If the West Memphis 3 are innocent, as Damian Echols' supporters claim, then someone had to have murdered the 3 boys. A recent DNA test found hair fibers on one of the victims' shoelaces matched Terry Hobbs. He was Steve Branch's stepfather. We asked Terry Hobbs to comment. He declined.
In addition to the DNA, there have been other defense discoveries that bear on the question of actual innocence. As some of you know, a critical prosecution theory at the 1994 trials, and Mr. Reardon mentioned this, was that the defendants used a survival knife to inflict most of the injuries on these victims.
This knife is found in the lake, hidden behind Jason Baldwin's house. There are marks on Christopher Byers where you've got like a dash where it's a cut, an open space, a cut, and an open space. And if you take this knife and do that, you can see it leaves a cut and an open space, cut and an open space.
In late 2005, the defense hired a pediatric pathologist to review the autopsy reports, the photographs, and other evidence to get her opinion about the cause of the injuries. Her name is Janice Ophoven. A few months later, we learned Dr. Ophoven's preliminary conclusion, and that was that animals had actually caused most of these wounds and that they had happened after the time that the victims died. And of course, if that were true, it was a very dramatic development because it would expose key elements of the prosecution's case as utter nonsense. So we then consulted with 4 other renowned experts. They included forensic pathologists, Dr. Werner Spitz.
When a dog or other carnivorous animal attacks a body after death or before death sometimes, they scrape the body. They move their claws on the body and try to bring the body closer to them. They do this several times. And you have here 2 of the victims that have the same identical injury, and the spacing and the configuration of those injuries is not compatible with a serrated knife such as this, or for that matter, any knife.
In addition, forensic odontologist Richard Souveron from Miami-Dade, the medical examiner's office.
There are no stab wounds. If somebody's going to use a knife, what do you do with a knife? You run around and scrape with it like this? I mean, come on. You stab with a knife. There are no stab wounds on these. Any one of the 3 have no stab wounds. So this knife didn't cause any injuries. No knife caused any injuries. And the injuries to the body were post-mortem done by animals.
If you know you didn't do something, isn't all of this frustrating?
Frustrating doesn't even begin to describe what all this is.
If the DNA excludes you, why are you in prison?
Well, a lot of people think that if you have some sort of definitive proof of innocence, something like a DNA test, that you're automatically released, and that's not actually true. A lot of times in cases like this, it's more about politics than it is about justice. You know, a lot of people have built their careers off of this case. You know, you had police officers who were given promotions. You had the prosecutor who ran for and was elected judge. The circuit court judge is now saying that he plans on retiring and run for Senate. All of this pretty much happened on the merit of this case, and these people do not want to admit that they made a mistake.
A rally was held in Little Rock today urging Arkansas Governor Mike Beebe to take action in the case of the West Memphis 3.
In America, you have to be proven guilty beyond a shadow of doubt.
Natalie Maines of the Dixie Chicks was there. The families of the victims were not. Still, many of them now support Echols' claim of innocence.
I said it for years, you know, that the 3 men in prison, they're guilty. They did it. With new DNA evidence and stuff, don't point to them. No, justice wasn't served. I feel like it's still not served.
John Mark Byers, stepfather of one of the victims, recently had a change of heart as well.
Over a year ago, things came to my front, and I realized that mistakes had been made that I wasn't aware of. I started researching, and I found a lot of things that I believe were wrong with this case, the way they were handled. I believe it was a rush to judgment.
After learning of the new evidence, he said he's reversed his belief in the guilt of the West Memphis Three, and he now wants you to know, I'm here for you. You have a comment?
Just that I really do appreciate that. I appreciate everything he's been expressing lately. I've heard him make comments like that several times on different local news stations, and I've heard people repeat that to me, and I really, really do appreciate that. It means a great deal.
Sick and tired of hearing things from uptight, short-sighted, narrow-minded hypocrites. All I want is the truth. Just give us some truth.
A number of famous people, celebrities and artists and writers have rallied to your cause. How does that make you feel? You've become a cause celeb.
Grateful, appreciative, thankful. You know, it's through their efforts and through the attention that they brought to the case and through donations that people have made that we were even able to do this DNA testing now.
Have they been to see you?
Eddie has. He's been to see me a couple times. We talk on the phone, write, things of that nature. Eddie has went above and beyond the call of duty to me and my wife both. You know, he has been probably the greatest friend a person can have through all of this.
So let me just conclude with, go back to our actual innocence test. The federal court will have to decide whether today, tried today with this information, Damian Echols would be acquitted. Well, let's look at the conclusion of the argument that convicted him back in 1993.
There have been hundreds of people killed in the name of religion. It is a motivating force. It gives people who want to do evil, want to commit murders, a reason to do what they're doing. Satanic panic. Yeah, that's a scary thing. But it's a scarier thing to convict someone with no evidence.
There is no evidence at the crime that connects to them. There is evidence at the crime scene that points in another direction. If this case were tried today, Damian Echols would be acquitted. He is actually innocent, and he has a meritorious claim for all of the reasons that we've stated that his first trial was unfair.
It's a mystery to me. We have agreed with which we have agreed.
I guess I'd just like to say thank you again to everyone for not losing interest and for staying on board, for keeping up with things, and for continuing to support us the way you have for the past 13 years now. It's appreciated more than I could ever even begin to tell you. It's a huge force in my life, and I'm sure it is in Jason's and Jesse's as well. It's what gets us through the day. It's what keeps us from losing hope. Just the belief that because of your support, because of your interest, and because of your love, that one day we'll be out of here. And I just want to thank you again for that. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the supporters for, doing everything they have, come out, go to the fundraisers, donate money, their time, resources. It makes it all possible for us to even have a defense, Our families, have it hard and tough and difficult, and if we just had to rely on them and the justice system, we'd be lost in here forever, and my best friend Damien would probably lose his life. I'll be glad when this is all over with and we can put it past us and maybe use it to make this country and this world a better place, to show the perseverance of the human strength and human kindness and the spirit to do well and to help each other. And that's the main thing I like about it all, It shows the goodness of people.
I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Keep up the good work. I'm having faith in everybody. That way it's going to come to the end pretty soon. Hopefully we won't be here too much longer. Just keep up the good work. I thank everybody for all their support. May God be with each and every one of you. Peace.
Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy and hope you're not lonely without me. Society, have mercy on